I always dreamed of a home filled with laughter and love, a partner to share life's quiet moments with, and maybe a family of my own. I am Alara, a deeply sensitive person. This dream felt so natural, yet it always slipped through my fingers. My relationships, especially in my 20s, would begin with so much promise, only to end in confusion and heartbreak. I often wondered if there was something fundamentally wrong with me. My sister, Zara, was always there. We were close, or so I thought. I remember small things from when we were younger. If I got a new friend, Zara would suddenly want all my attention. She'd pull me aside, whispering secrets, making me feel like she was the only one who truly understood me. It felt like a warm hug, but sometimes a little tight around my heart. There was Mark, kind and attentive. We had so much in common. Our dates were filled with easy conversation and genuine smiles. I felt a real connection, a hope I hadn't felt in a long time. Then, after a few wonderful months, his calls grew less frequent. His enthusiasm faded. He eventually ended things, saying it wasn't the right fit. I was left wondering what had changed. After each breakup, I would always turn to Zara. She was my confidante. I told her everything, every hope, every fear, every detail of my dates. I shared my deepest feelings about Mark, about how much I wanted things to work out. Zara would listen, nodding sympathetically, offering comfort. Her presence was a balm, a sure thing in my uncertain world of relationships. Sometimes Zara's comfort came with a sting. "You really are too sensitive, Alara," she'd say, "or maybe you come on too strong, men don't like that." Once she even commented on a dress I loved, "It's a lovely color, but perhaps not for your figure." These remarks, seemingly innocent, chipped away at my confidence. I started to believe she was right, that I was somehow less than perfect. The breakup with David was particularly painful. He simply said, "I just don't think I'm what you need, Alara." It was so vague, so unsettling. His words made me feel inherently flawed, like there was some invisible defect in me that made me unlovable. I cried for weeks, convinced that if I just tried harder or was different somehow, things would finally work out. Each failed relationship added another layer to my self-doubt. I started avoiding social gatherings, fearing another disappointment. My once vibrant hope for a partner slowly dwindled, replaced by a dull ache of loneliness. I felt increasingly isolated, questioning my worth, my attractiveness, everything I once believed about myself. The dream of a family began to feel like a cruel joke. Then came James. He was wonderful. We had a second date planned when Zara casually ran into us at the grocery store. She chatted with him briefly, all smiles. Later that day, she called me. "He seemed nice, Alara, but I had a small concern about his intense gaze." The next morning, James ghosted me. No calls, no texts. He just vanished. My heart ached, but a tiny seed of unease began to sprout. I started to see a pattern. Every time a relationship felt serious, every time I felt truly hopeful, Zara would become extra attentive. She'd call more, offer advice, seem more supportive than ever. And then, without fail, the relationship would collapse. It was like a cruel magic trick. The more she seemed to care, the faster my hopes would die. A few weeks after James disappeared, I ran into a mutual acquaintance. We spoke briefly. "You know, Alara," she said, "someone mentioned some really odd things about you to James. Said you were difficult." She quickly changed the subject, but her words echoed in my mind. Difficult? Who would say such a thing? A chill ran down my spine. The vague concerns, the constant failures, Zara's support. A terrifying suspicion began to form. The acquaintance's words about me being difficult replayed in my mind. It was a small seed, but it grew into a nagging question. This wasn't just bad luck anymore. There was a pattern. I felt a cold resolve settle over me. I had to investigate. I decided right then that I would find out the truth, no matter how painful it might be. My heart pounded with a mix of fear and a strange, new courage. Reaching out to my former partners felt like reopening old wounds. My hands trembled as I typed the first message to Mark. I was terrified of rejection, of hearing more vague reasons why I wasn't enough. But I pushed past the fear. I needed answers, candid ones, about why things truly ended. I knew this was my only way to understand what had happened to my life, to my hopes. The first call came from David. His voice was hesitant at first. Then he spoke of Zara. He told me she had called him, saying I was unstable, too emotional, and prone to dramatic outbursts. My stomach clenched. Mark then confirmed a similar story. Zara had warned him I was too much, that I would overwhelm any partner. The revelations hit me like a physical blow. I felt a deep chill. I kept making calls, one after another. Each conversation painted a clearer, more horrifying picture. Old messages from Zara to me where she subtly questioned my choices or made comments about my partners now seemed sinister. It was all there, a systematic web of lies and interference. The evidence mounted, piece by agonizing piece. My sister, my confidante, had been working against me all along. The gut-wrenching realization of Zara's profound betrayal washed over me. She had weaponized my deepest vulnerabilities, my hopes for love, against me. I felt a profound emptiness, a betrayal so deep it stole my breath. All those years of self-doubt, of believing I was unlovable, were because of her. The sister I trusted implicitly had systematically destroyed my chances at happiness. I felt emotionally annihilated. I confronted Zara in her living room. My voice was shaky but firm. She denied everything at first, her eyes wide with feigned innocence. She tried to gaslight me, saying I was imagining things, that I was too sensitive. But I held my ground, presenting the evidence. Her facade finally crumbled. With a chilling calm, she confessed, her twisted motivations rooted in jealousy and a perverse desire for control. I felt a cold dread, seeing a stranger in my sister's eyes. The decision to expose Zara's actions to our broader social circle and family was incredibly difficult. I knew it would cause pain and division. Some were skeptical at first, unwilling to believe their sweet, caring Zara could be capable of such cruelty. But I presented the undeniable proof, the messages, the recounted conversations. It was messy, heartbreaking, but the truth needed to be heard. I chose truth over a false peace. The fallout was immense. Our family fractured. My parents struggled to accept the truth, caught between their two daughters. The trust I once had in my sister was shattered beyond repair. I grieved for the sister I thought I knew, the bond I believed we shared. It was a profound loss, a different kind of heartbreak. The silence between us was heavy, a constant reminder of what had been stolen. I embarked on a journey of intense therapy and self-rehabilitation. It was a long, arduous path. I had to unlearn years of self-blame, to rebuild my shattered self-worth brick by painful brick. Learning to trust again, especially myself, was the hardest part. I focused on my own happiness, my independence. I realized that my worth was not determined by a partner, but by who I was becoming. Years later, I still carry the scars, but they no longer define me. I have found a quiet strength. I slowly began to pursue genuine connections, cautiously but with newfound confidence. I understood that true love begins with loving myself, with honoring my own worth. The dream of a true partnership and building my own family is no longer a desperate yearning, but a gentle, hopeful possibility. I am finally free to pursue the genuine love and family I was always denied.